Hi everybody, this is Ospreyeye from MyChartCoach.com, and in this video we're going to take a look at OTC stocks that were in play today. These are the over-the-counter stocks, and first up we have HEMP. Huge day today. As you can see here, it closed up 75%. This was the biggest day in very long time for this company. They had monumental news that was posted earlier. Be sure to check that out. RSI and Fasto are both at overbought levels. You have Fasto nearly maxed. There was a bullish crossover on ADX. It was a big move today above the middle Bollinger Band, the 50-day simple moving average, and the 100-day simple moving average. The share price ran up to the 200 and 300-day simple moving averages. That's the red and blue line here at 0.031, and that's where the share price stopped. And so that's going to be the key level to break tomorrow. In order to head higher, it needs to close above that level. If that level turns into resistance, you could see a pullback and see this 100-day simple moving average at 0.025 tested. That's the key level to hold in a pullback. If that breaks, then you want to see this 50-day simple moving average and EMA4 hold. Okay, so this looks like the possible start of a new uptrend here. This was huge news. We're going to see if this is just a one-day event or if this could be a multi-day run. It's all going to be dependent on whether or not it can close above the 200 and 300-day simple moving averages. If that level breaks tomorrow, then it will need to break this 0.035, and then we'll be talking about looking out at a longer time frame. So check out the huge volume bar today. This was the largest volume day for a very long time for the stock. It had 282 million shares traded, so there was big money behind the move. There was a parabolic SAR bullish flip, and then you've got this big big spike on the MACD line. The MACD line's reflecting the breakout. Okay, so let's take a look at STBV. Okay, the stock had a nice run back up to 14.5 today, but as you can see here, it closed at 0. So the open, it closed at the same level as the open. Okay, so you still have RSI up here at 90 at overbought levels. Fasto is still below 80 after it pulled back yesterday, so it's at 68. It's still in the 60 to 80 bull zone. This is what we call a pause candle here. So a black candle formed today, but not a bearish reversal pattern. In order for this to be bearish meeting lines reversal pattern, you cannot have a small candle, real candle body. And so the small candle body, this is signaling indecision. This is a spinning top. Notice how there's a long wick, upper and lower wicks, and so that's just signaling that there was a stalemate between the bulls and the bears today. Many times when this happens, the candles work their way back into the bands. You'd like to see the EMA4 basically at 7 hold. Notice how the candles have been closing above that level. This is still a super strong chart. EMA8 at 0.465 is the key level to hold below that. On the upside, you can see 14.5 is the big level to break. Okay, so it hit that level again today, tested it and pulled back. So you notice that there was big volume again today behind the move. So the chart is super strong here. It just took a little pause today. If you look at the STBV 15-minute chart, you'll see here, this is showing the multi-day run, and then today what happened was it ran back up to yesterday's high. It actually broke above that level, so yesterday's high was high close was right here, and it broke above that level and it pulled back. It essentially formed a double top, and then it consolidated sideways. Notice how volume got really light, and so it was setting up for a volume spike. Notice that there was this ascending support. The candle started writing ascending support, forming this ascending triangle. Notice how there's horizontal resistance here at the 14 level, and then so it was either going to be a break above resistance, or there was going to be a break below ascending support, and it actually support ended up breaking into the close, and it broke below the middle Bollinger Band, and it dropped all the way down and closed just below the 50-day simple 50 simple moving average at 0.103. Okay, so that's going to be the key level to hold. You do not want to see that level turn into resistance if you are a bull. If that happens, if the green line turns into resistance and the candles fail to get back above that level tomorrow, you could see a drop down here to the 100 simple moving average at 0.06. So notice that there was a volume spike into the close. They did release a late in the day PR, and it had the markets had a negative reaction. It had to sell the news effect. So it looks like they went to the well one too many times today with the PRs. If you look here at the STBV weekly chart, okay, this is the key chart to be following. Notice that you still have RSI at 98, so it's very overbought. Fasto corrected. The big thing on this chart, and this is what we were talking about yesterday, is this high close back here in June of 2015, and so that's at 12.5. Notice how it's staying right here at 10. Okay, that was the big support level here, and so it needs to close above that level for the week. This is a weekly chart. This candle will not set until the closing bell on Friday. You want to see it close above both these red lines for the week, and then that could potentially put this 25 level on. That's the open on this candle, and then the high of day is at 50. So it's all depending on breaking this 10 to 12.5 resistance level for the week. If it fails to break, you could see the candles pull back into the bands. Okay, notice the volume behind the move. Huge volume behind the move. So for bulls, you want to see a strong close. You do not want to see a long upper wick form end of week, signaling dilution and profit taking. It would be best for the bulls if this held up into the close on Friday. Okay, so let's take a look here at the so this was the so when we were looking at hemp earlier, I did want to show you the 15-minute chart. I apologize I didn't have it in the correct order, but if you look here, this is interesting. Okay, so a couple things stand out. First, notice the volume. Okay, look at the really light volume before the move, and then check out the volume spike at the open. That was the signal that the stock was in play. When you had the big volume spike with the break above the moving averages on this candle, that was a signal that hemp was ready to go. There was a really good PR out today, and then it just started riding EMA4 support higher. Notice how EMA4 support, that's the pink line, it held all the way into the close. So there was a little dip right here on this giant volume spike, but notice the share price ended up closing above that level, and so yeah, that was very interesting. You could have had some people loading here because the EMA4 held. You have to watch out for hemp for dilution. They're big diluters. But the news today was huge, and so as long as they refrain and the financiers refrain from dumping and killing the rally, this could have a multi-day run. It's all depending on this middle Bollinger Band holding at 0.03. As long as candles are forming above that level, hemp will be in play. If it breaks, then it's going to signal downside risk. You can see it drop down to the 50 simple moving average at 0.02. Okay, so yeah, the chart is super strong right now. It did have a crossover here on MACD, so you want to see the 12, 26, and 9 get back above the MACD line, above the signal line, and then you want to see a crossover down here on the 8, 13, and 5. And so the big thing on this chart is this fat finger right here, this candle. Notice how it went all the way up to 22. So if somebody, instead of hitting 0.022, they hit 0.22, and the trade went through and it created a fat finger. This messes up the charts. It makes it difficult to read, and it throws off the data. So luckily it's not showing up on the daily chart, and we can still read the daily chart accurately. Okay, so yeah, so as long as this as long as this 15-minute chart remains bullish, hemp will remain in play. Okay, look at OXIS. Okay, this stock is doing has been on this really nice run. It's doing really well here. It had really good news out today, and it is at overbought levels right now on RSI and Fasto. So now you have RSI above 70. Notice it peaked out above that level in the past, and then Fasto is actually maxed at 100. There was a high of day close that maxes out Fasto. So it is frothy right now. It did close above a key resistance level. As you can see here, there's this nice uptrend. The candles are forming above the middle Bollinger Band, and then they turn this gold line here into support, and the green line, that's the 50 and 100-day simple moving averages. Notice how the green line and the gold line are pinched. When the 50 crosses over the 100 to the upside, that's a very bullish signal. That's a signal that that longer term strength is building. So that's a good sign in this chart that this is a really healthy reversal. Notice that there was the close. This is what we are looking for today, above the first week of April. There was a close above that level today, so that was very good. And then yesterday there was a close above this high close here in June 26. So the candle yesterday above that level was signaling more upside, and then now today there was a close above this level. So that does signal more upside potential, just the charts are very frothy. Now the big level to break is going to be the support zone over here, just above 54. And if the candles do pull back, you just want to see this, you really want to see EMAs 4 and 8 support hold. If it takes a pause for a day and tries to correct RSI and FASTO, if it keeps pushing higher, the ultimate target is the 200-day simple moving average at 0.06. I mean, that's where this looks like it's ultimately headed. Notice how volume is increasing. There's big volume behind the move. So keep an eye on OXIS. That's doing really well. If you look here at the 15-minute chart, you could see here there was big volume pushing this higher today. Good volume for an OTC stock. It has a very strong uptrend. It closed here at high of day. Notice how the candles were forming above the middle Bollinger Band. 0.032 is the key level to hold on a pullback. If that breaks, you really want, it's basically it needs to stay above 0.03. If 3 holds, then it should signal that this is still strong with more upside. Once the candles get below the middle Bollinger Band and the 50 simple moving average on the 15-minute chart, it signals the play is losing strength and that there are potentially reload levels lower. Okay, let's look at TRTC. Okay, this is another cannabis sector play, and it's currently looking good on RSI and FASTO. Notice how they're both in the bull zone. Okay, at 62, there's still more room to run until 70, and at 57, there's a lot of room to run till 80 over bot zone. So the chart has been building strength. If you look here on ADX, you've got this bullish crossover with the green line crossing the black line to the upside, plus DI crossing the ADX. That's a signal the bulls have been taking control. Keep an eye on PSAR here. That's the green dots above the candles. It's currently at 0.296. When the share price hits that level, the dots are going to flip below the candles. This is on a multi-day run. Okay, so you've got the 3 white candles in a row, and the share price is hitting the 200-day simple moving average basically at 28 cents. And so that's the big level to break. It has to close above that level and turn it into support to head higher. And then just above that, you've got the 300 simple moving average, 300-day simple moving average at 35, 0.305. So 2 huge resistance levels above. If you notice here, it worked on this same level back on the 17th and 18th of July. It failed to turn that level into support. It did close above the 200-day simple moving average on the 18th, but then it pulled back. And so many times when a stock does that and then it closes above it the next time, that's a signal that it's ready to head higher. And so, so going forward, if it can close above 35, 0.305, that's going to signal that TRTC is ready to head higher. If these levels turn into resistance and they fail to break, then you could see a possible pullback to test 22 and possibly 20 down here on the 50 and 100-day simple moving averages, which have been holding. Notice, like similar to the other chart that we saw, notice how the 50-day simple moving average is hooking up and it's headed towards the 100-day simple moving average. This is a signal that this chart has been building strength. A new uptrend started down here when the middle Bollinger Band turned into support, and it's only been heading higher. So now it's fulfilled this pattern where it's up here at this very key level, and if it turns it into support, that could signal a possible longer-term uptrend. Okay, so let's take a look at FRZT. Okay, this took a pause today. RSI still has a lot of room to run at 54. FASTO corrected is at 65. Plus DI hooked down, but it's still above minus DI, the red line. And then notice how the black line is pinched with the red line. ADX and minus DI are pinched. If the black line crosses the red line to the upside, that'll be another signal the bulls are heating up. So this was under pressure today, but it still had a very bullish close. Notice the long lower wick on today's candle. That shows loading off of the middle Bollinger Band. That was the key level that we are looking to hold today. We wanted to see the middle Bollinger Band hold at 0.0022. Okay, so there were buyers today at that level. They did push the share price above the second key level that has to turn into support for this play to turn higher or to run higher, 0.0028, the 50-day simple moving average, which is the green line. And notice how it closed above that level today. So that's 2 days in a row that FRZT closed above the middle Bollinger Band and the 50-day simple moving average. That's positive. Now, if it can turn those levels into support, then it needs to break this the June 21st close here at 0.004, and then you could possibly see a run back up to penny land. So this is doing fine. It had a higher low today. It didn't make a higher high, but it is in the process possibly of starting a new uptrend. Now, if the middle Bollinger Band support level breaks, that's going to signal major downside risk and and it will be a risk to hold. The 100-day simple moving average right below at 0.0015 has been big support below, so that level needs to hold. Notice that the pause today was on lighter volume, so it wasn't a big sell-off, and there were recent bull crosses and a recent PSAR bull flip. If you look at the FRZT 15-minute chart from yesterday. This is the chart that we were working on yesterday, and it shows here how there was a double top intraday at high of day, and then it pulled back again. And then today, you know, it tested that level 3 times and failed to break. And then today, this red candle dropping below the middle Bollinger Band signaled that FRZT was not going to be in play today. We wanted to see the 50 simple moving average hold. It didn't hold. It dropped below, and then we are looking for this 100 simple moving average to hold, which was lined up with the middle Bollinger Band, and that's, you know, the 0.0022, and so that was really positive that held, and then it actually rallied into the close. Notice that you know, this was all walked down on relatively light volume. You know, there was a profit taking right at the open on a volume spike, and then they were able to keep it down on light volume, and then you had a push, a volume spike on the close, with the close above the middle Bollinger Band and the 50 simple moving average at 0.0027. So that was a really nice close. Okay, so for us in our theory, our strategy, if candles are forming above the middle Bollinger Band and the 50 simple moving average on the 15-minute chart, that signals the stock is in play. So you want to see those levels hold tomorrow. As long as they hold, that would signal more upside potential. If it drops back below both levels, that will signal that it could possibly consolidate. Okay, let's look at PLSB. Okay, this is a stock that had some news out today. This is this stock, you know, sold off. You know, it ended up, you know, had this nice run today. The reason why I'm showing you the chart is because it was the largest volume day of the year for the stock. It broke the 50-day simple moving average at 0.0021, and then it ran up to the 100-day simple moving average, and it pulled all the way back. That's never a good sign. You know, that shows major profit taking and dilution. If you look at accumulation distribution, you can see a major spike down. That's not what you want to see on an up day. You know, you have CCI at 76, so it's still not at overbought levels, but it's getting close. And then you've got the spike down on CMF. When you see that on an up day, that's usually a signal that a sign that they are diluting, selling shares. But just keep an eye on the stock. It pulled all the way back down to the middle Bollinger Band. It needs to, if it closes above the 50-day simple moving average, notice it tried to turn that level into support before. If it closes above that level and turns it into support, it could get going. You know, it's had a hard time. It sold off big. It was, you know, it didn't perform well after the open. So this could continue with the downtrend. So yeah, just keep an eye on it. You know, it's only going to be in play if it can get above that 50-day simple moving average. And then one more to look at, KBLB. They had a contract today with the U.S. Army, and so it popped on the news, and so this had one of its best volume days of the year as well, and so the close today above the 50, the 200, and the 100-day simple moving average was very bullish. You know, if the candles do pull back, you want to see that 100-day simple moving average hold. This was the first day of a potential, you know, who knows, this could be a multi-day run. You know, the next target is going to be up here at this 0.08 zone, the high close back here in April. So keep an eye on that. You know, this has the potential to run up to that level on the news and with the volume, but it was for a $1 million contract. So we'll see what happens. If the share price pulls back and it gets below the 100-day simple moving average, then that could signal that it's going to drop back down and test this 200-day simple moving average. Okay, thank you very much for viewing this video. For more charts and technical analysis, check us out at mychartcoach.com and our YouTube channel at mychartcoach.com. Okay, thank you.